السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد أشرف الخلق وسيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم بارك لنا في هذه الليلة، ليلة 29 من رمضان، آخر ليلة وترية يا رب العالمين. اللهم بارك لنا فيها. اللهم أعنا على القيام بحقها، واكتبنا في هذه الليلة من عبادك التائبين العابدين الذاكرين الشاكرين المخلصين المقبولين. تقبل منا رمضان يا رب العالمين. اللهم تقبله منا، اللهم تقبله منا كاملا غير منقوص. اللهم اجبر ما كان فيه من خطأ أو خلل أو نسيان. اللهم اغفر وارحم وتجاوز عما تعلم، إنك أنت الأعز الأكرم. اللهم لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا، اللهم لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا، اللهم لا تؤاخذنا بإسرافنا على أنفسنا. اللهم يا ربنا تقبل منا العمل القليل وتجاوز عن الزلل الكثير يا ربنا، كما وفقتنا لشهود شهر رمضان فلا تحرمنا قبوله بمحض فضلك وكرمك يا أكرم الأكرمين. اللهم يا ربنا كما وفقتنا لشهود هذا الشهر فوفقنا لشهود رمضانات كثيرة في أزمنة مديدة يا رب العالمين، في ظل طاعتك ورضوانك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اصلح حال أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم استجب لنا دعاءنا في حق إخواننا في غزة يا رب العالمين، انصرهم نصرا عزيزا مؤزرا. فك الكرب عنهم وعن إخواننا المستضعفين في السودان وفي سوريا وفي لبنان وفي اليمن وفي العراق وفي بورما وفي كشمير وفي سائر بلاد المسلمين، أنت أعلم بهم منا، كلهم ناصرا ومعينا ومؤيدا وظهيرا يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعل خير عمرنا آخرة، وخير عملنا خواتمه، وخير أيامنا يوم نلقاك فيه وأنت راض عنا، آمين آمين. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. Amma ba'd, in these few minutes before Salatul Isha, we're going to be speaking about two important things, timely things that we need to address right now. But before we speak about them, just a reminder, tonight is the last odd night. Every night we have full night programs, so you're welcome to join us, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. After we finish the normal Taraweeh, we continue the Juz'. And then after that we continue Tahajjud until it's lecture time. We have a lecture tonight with Shaykh Yasir, Ustad Zaid and myself about what's next. How can we carry the Ramadan momentum beyond Ramadan? How could we continue to try to do good things, to draw closer to Allah Azza wa Jal, to stay connected, to keep our Iman within acceptable bounds throughout the rest of the year. So join us as we discuss this, bi'idhnillah. It's going to be tonight at 12:30 a.m. bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Other thing that's important to note is that tomorrow we're going to be having Dua al-Khatm in Taraweeh. It'll be tonight we're going to be reading the 29th Juz'. Tomorrow we're actually going to be reading tonight the 29th Juz' and a part of the 30th Juz'. Just so that we don't leave too much recitation during Taraweeh tomorrow, because Dua al-Khatm is usually prolonged and longer. So that we're going to leave a little bit tomorrow, probably a little bit more than half of the Juz' 30 tomorrow, and then we'll do Dua al-Khatm at the very end with Witr, inshallah. Tomorrow night is the last night for Taraweeh. After tomorrow is Laylatul Eid. It's also a night of great virtue and reward. We'll talk about it later. The day of Eid is going to be on Wednesday, and we're going to be having Eid Salahs in our masajid, like we normally have been doing, especially with the weather. We're going to be doing Eid Salahs in the masajid. So in this masjid here, we're going to be having 3 Eid Salahs like we normally do. We're going to finalize the details, but most probably it's going to be the normal schedule that we have: 7:30, 9, and 10:30. 7:30 for the first prayer, 9 a.m. for the second prayer, and 10:30 for the third prayer. But inshallah we'll finalize all of that by tomorrow for you, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So the first of the two subjects that I'm going to talk to you about is the eclipse prayer, Salat al-Kusuf wal-Khusuf. We have an eclipse happening, a solar eclipse happening tomorrow. In Arabic, we could either refer to this as kusuf or khusuf. These terms are interchangeable, even though usually khusuf al-shams and kusuf al-qamar, but both are interchangeable. You could use either one for either. So, but the point here is the eclipse prayer is one of or the eclipse is one of Allah's miraculous signs. As the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, الشمس والقمر آيتان من آيات الله لا ينكسفان لموت أحد ولا لحياته. And in some variations of this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says that Allah, these two ayat, يخوف الله بهما عباده. Allah reminds His servants through these two signs, and He puts fear in their hearts through these two signs, right? So the eclipse should cause a fikri. You're in the camera's way. The eclipse should cause this fear factor within me. It should cause some fear. Why? Because it reminds me of the ni'mah of Allah Azza wa Jal in the sun, and the ni'mah of Allah Azza wa Jal in the moon. At any point, I could be denied these two great blessings from Allah. So the Prophet ﷺ's advice in this type of situation, فَصَلُّوا وَادْعُوا حَتَّى يَنْكَشِفَ مَا بِكُمْ. Continue to pray and make dua until this condition is alleviated. It's no random occurrence that Allah Azza wa Jal decreed that an earthquake and an eclipse happen both in the span of a few days. It's a great reminder for us, and we pray that Allah Azza wa Jal makes us of those who take heed of these reminders. Allahumma ameen. So the eclipse is going to be happening tomorrow, and there's a sunnah prayer to be done with it. The eclipse is starting around 2:09 in our area. It's not a full eclipse, but it is a major portion of the sun will be blocked in this eclipse. So we're going to see a good portion of it. It's a partial eclipse. It starts at 2:09. It peaks at around 3:24, and it ends right before Adhan al-Asr at 4:35. So it lasts for about 2 hours and some change. The sunnah is that the time to pray the eclipse prayer is from the beginning of the eclipse to the end of the eclipse. If you miss it, you miss it. You don't make it up, right? But don't worry, we're not going to pray for 2 hours tomorrow. We're going to do the Salat al-Kusuf wal-Khusuf in the masjid here tomorrow, jama'atan, and you're welcome to join us. There's a group of kids over there that are making a lot of noise. Please try to get them to quiet down. Whoever those kids are making noise, please get them to quiet down. Jazakumullah khair. We're going to be praying at Jama'ah, but you don't have to pray at Jama'ah. If you're at home and you can't come to the masjid, you could pray it on your own as well. You don't have to pray for the full duration of it. Generally speaking, it is a longer prayer. It has a different a procedure to it if you want to do the full sunnah. The minimum sunnah is to pray 2 rak'ahs, right? Normal rak'ahs with no change or anything. But the full sunnah is, as the hadith mentions, 2 rak'ahs with 2 ruku's in each. So we recite Fatiha and whatever you could recite after that, and then you go down to ruku', Allahu Akbar, and then you rise from ruku', Sami Allahu liman hamida, and then you continue with your recitation after that. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. And then you continue to recite as though it's a second rak'ah. So it's 4 rak'ahs in 2. That's basically what it is. Fatiha and another surah in the second qiyam of the first rak'ah. And then you go down to ruku' again. And then you go to i'tidal. And then you go to sujood after that. So in summary, it's 4 rak'ahs in 2. Right? So that's all it is. It's pretty straightforward. Because it's a solar eclipse, we're not going to be reciting out loud. It's during the daytime. Each person is going to be reciting to themselves. And that's the basic stuff relating to the eclipse prayer, inshaAllah ta'ala. You could pray it for a portion, and then you choose the rest of the time to make dua during that time of eclipse. But the point is, it is a time of dhikr. It is a time of dhikr to take advantage of the eclipse tomorrow. All right. Now, the last thing I'm going to say to you guys is about Zakatul Fitr. Zakatul Fitr is a very important sunnah. Is a very important obligation that we must fulfill. If you already gave your Zakatul Fitr out already, great, alhamdulillah. If you haven't, give it out tonight before tomorrow. You don't want to wait till Salat al-Eid, because if you don't give it in time by Salat al-Eid, it's going to lose its purpose. What's the purpose of Zakat al-Fitr? It is tuhratan lis-sa'im. It is a cleansing for the one who fasts from any wrongdoing that was done in this month. Any mistakes, any aggressions, any sins I committed. So it cleanses the fast. That's one. And the other one, it is tu'ma lil masakin. It is tu'ma lil masakin. So these are and that is feeding the needy on this day, blessed day. So what is the amount that we're estimating? It's an estimated amount. Historically, it was given in grains, but today it's very difficult for us to do that here. So we give an estimated amount of the value of those staple foods, the staple foods. So it's about $15 per person, whether they fasted or not, whether they're young or old. Even if you have an infant, a baby, a toddler, $15 per person. If a woman is pregnant, it is recommended, not required, to give Zakat al-Fitr on behalf of al-Janeen. And this is the sunnah that set forth by Sayyidina Uthman bin Affan. So it's not required for a Janeen, for a fetus, but for every born child onward, it is a requirement for anyone who was there to witness Shahr al-Siyam and then witnessed the Ghurub al-Shams from the day of Eid, Tamam. So now who pays Zakat al-Fitr? Everybody. Even people who have to pay, even people who are deserving of receiving zakah money, still also pay Zakat al-Fitr. So it's possible that someone would give Zakat al-Fitr and then end up getting some money from Zakat al-Fitr as well. Because Zakat al-Fitr is an obligation on me to cleanse my fast. So even if I don't have Zakat al-Mal, amounts for Zakat al-Mal, and I only have $1,000, $2,000, I still need to give my Zakat al-Fitr. Can you give Zakat al-Fitr in another locality? Yes. Just make sure it gets there before the Salat al-Eid. And make sure that you don't deduct the expenses from the fuqara. If you're going to send it through other means, like whatever, Western Union or something like that, to overseas, you pay extra to pay for the sending the money over there, right? So you could send it overseas if you wanted to. Some people are asking me, can we pay Zakat al-Fitr to Gaza? My answer to this is, don't give Zakat al-Fitr to Gaza. Why? Because there's a surplus that's waiting at the borders, and they're not able to get the money in to the people of Gaza. So if you pay your Zakat al-Fitr, it's not going to get in before Salat al-Eid. So you need to pay Zakat al-Fitr to the fuqara. It needs to get to their hands by the day of Eid. So that won't be possible with Gaza, unfortunately. Otherwise, they're among the most deserving of zakah money. But Zakat al-Fitr, give it to someone else. Now, there's a lot of other ahkam relating to Zakat al-Fitr. In the household, the one who is the responsible for the bills can choose to pay Zakat al-Fitr on behalf of everybody, or they could choose to pay on behalf of themselves. If a son wants to pay it on his own and not let his father pay on his behalf, go ahead, good, no problem. خلاص, yeah, بالضبط. Or if a wife wanted to pay her own Zakat al-Fitr and not let her husband do it, she wanted to do it from her own money, is that okay? Yes. Or if he paid it all, is that okay too? Yes, that's fine. As long as the amount is paid, that's what truly matters in this hukum. Now, other things here. We said it's a zakah that is wajibah, meaning that if I don't give it by Salat al-Eid, do I still need to give it? Yes, I still need to give it. But it'll miss out on the purification of my fast. If I don't give it by Maghrib on the day of Eid, I've just committed a sin. And I still have to do it. So Zakat al-Fitr as an obligation doesn't drop no matter how much time passes. So I need to, and it's a very small amount, very trivial amount. So make sure that you give it in time, and Allah Azza wa Jal will give the rewards for that bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And as we said before, well, now we're at the end of the month, so this doesn't really apply. But can you give it before it's due, just for future record? Like, do you have to wait till the day of Eid to give Zakat al-Fitr? No. You could give it from day one of Ramadan, no problem. In the very beginning of the month, I want to pay Zakat al-Fitr right now. Can I do it? Yeah, no problem. You could make sure, this is another thing, make sure your Zakat al-Fitr doesn't go to the wrong box. Please don't do that. We have a general donation box, and then we have one that's for Zakat al-Fitr specifically. Your Zakat al-Fitr money should not be going to pay for our electric bills, right? Or for the air condition bill. it needs to go to al-fuqara wal-masakin, right? So that's the other thing that you need. If you accidentally put it in the donation box, go tell Ridwan, and he'll take it out of the donation box and put it in the Zakat al-Fitr box, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. That's pretty much a rundown of the basic ahkam. Now we're going to have iqama, and then we're going to stand for Salat al-Isha, inshallah.